Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to another webinar hosted by the Coalition for American Public Diplomacy and Leadership, your capital. My name is Carmen Mazzara, and I am seeing many familiar faces, but welcome to those of you who are joining us for your very first Capital webinar. Very glad to have you here. This is part of an ongoing series that we do, hoping to share best practices among our wonderful Capital members worldwide so that you can continue to advance your work throughout the BridgeUSA space and continue to deliver this tremendous program that benefits participants we know as well as, of course, the US. This particular session is looking at the topic of alumni engagement, and we have two wonderful speakers here who've done tremendous work in this effort, and I'm excited to hear from them in just a second. As we go through the session, if you have any questions or things you'd like to learn more about, please feel free to put that in the chat. After our speakers have had a chance to answer some of my questions, we'll give you a chance to ask yours as well. This session is being recorded and will live afterwards on the Capital YouTube page along with all of our other sessions. And as we do for all of our sessions, afterwards I'll also create an easy takeaway sheet for you to use so that you can refer back to some of the great wisdom that we're going to collect here today. As one last very quick commercial, I do invite all of you to join us on May 13th for our next webinar. That one is looking at how we make the case for BridgeUSA, particularly how BridgeUSA advances US national security. So we're excited to have this wonderful combination of learning as well as storytelling and broader education about this wonderful program that we all love. So to get started, I'm excited to have two fantastic speakers. Miroljub Gudovic is a four-time summer work and travel participant, and all of that adds up to more than 15 years of cultural exchange, particularly as the CEO of the Work and Travel Group based in Serbia. The Work and Travel Group has grown to have more than 15 full-time and part-time employees in 3 countries and 5 offices, and it sounds like there's even more wonderful growth along the way. Over time, he's worked with lots of different work and travel participants and from Cape Cod to Alaska, he says. And in particular, once the students come home from those experiences across the US, he's really built an alumni relations program in Serbia and throughout the region that he's going to share with us today. And what I appreciate is that he is a self-described perfectionist who always seeks to provide students with their best summer experience. Joining him is Fazil Mammadov, who has two wonderful roles here with us today. One is as the founder of the BridgeUSA Turkey Alumni Association, and then also as Deputy General Manager of Study Zone International, which is Turkey's leading work and travel agency. He's got 2 decades in public diplomacy and cultural exchange and youth development that he's going to share with us today. Originally from Azerbaijan, he came to the US for the first time as actually a high school exchange student through the J1 program living in Iowa, and then came back to the US also to Cape Cod like Miro as a summer work travel student. So for all of our folks in Massachusetts, you've got some folks with a deep lobstering experience. And what Fazil also brings, of course, is his deep commitment to fostering cross-cultural understanding, building those alumni networks, and then promoting public diplomacy as that wonderful relationship that we know alumni bring home to their country, but still with those ties back to the US. And so as we get started, again, if you have questions, I invite you to put them in the chat, but I'm going to begin. And Miro, I'm going to start with you. Why did you decide to create an alumni chapter, and how does it support the work of your business?
So first, hi Carmen, and hi everybody. It's nice to be here and share the wonderful experience that we create for the students. So we actually started that many years ago, and we wanted to connect students from various locations to share their experience between themselves, to educate them to promote the program here as well, because as long they're ambassadors of their own country in US, and they're also great ambassadors, US ambassadors in their home country, in Serbia and region, Croatia, Greece, and in the whole region where we work. So we wanted to have that connection with students, because When the students leave for the summer, we usually have them just via email connection, and that's all. So we want to have some more connection with them after they're finished with the program, and alumni is a great thing to start with. So we did that starting one of the biggest events from 2014 and 15. So we started to have alumni events in the office every year. So it's on Thanksgiving Day. So it's really a good opportunity for them when they're back. They still have that fresh summer feelings and talking about the program and all. And it's a good opportunity to give something back. And it's also a nice holiday to combine US and the students. So we always connect those two. We have that in each office pretty much throughout 10 years now. Yeah, that's one of the reasons, just to connect the students as much as we can.
Thank you. Mir, I'm going to ask you maybe to move your mic a little closer so that we can hear all your great wisdom a little better. Fazil, how about you? Why did you decide to create the alumni chapter, and then how does it support your work at Study Zone?
Well, I think it was right after by the way, hello everyone, and thank you for joining. It's very, very nice to meet you, all of you. I mean, we're not able to see you, but I get a chance just to go over the list. So why we decided, because it was my personal thing, because I saw, as you said, I'm from Azerbaijan. I have seen J1 High School Exchange alumni over there, and then some work that they do, and then realized that, you know, work and travel was also J1, and maybe we can do something like this, so which will bring some of the students, same-minded people together, and business-wise, you know, since I'm in this industry, it will help to give a very good reputation to the program. And then some up and downs that happened during the pandemic, and then, you know, challenges. So alumni, bringing alumni together and having an alumni event and highlighting that so many good students are actually going through this program, and then it helped their career. Kind of like to have that story of some of the alumni that will gain the reputation to the program. And then afterwards, when the institution decided, like when they start to ask about it, when the embassy, when the Department of State, when the sponsors has been mentioning about the alumni, and I thought that it's actually a right time, you know, like just right time to get the support and to achieve what we actually have been thinking about. So that was kind of like my first kind of trigger to start the alumni.
Thank you. And I'm curious, how do you find the BridgeUSA alumni in your country, Fazil? And then how do you contact them to even let them know that they are BridgeUSA alumni and they have these opportunities?
Mhm. So what we did first, we launched the Alumni Association first, and we tried to reach one by one to the group of people who actually can be at the launch event, and then to announce it. So first we started internally in the agency that I'm working with, plus reach out to the agencies, share with them the idea, so they also reach out to the students in their database. So reach out was sending email and then do the call follow-up to the alumni that the recruiters, they know, they remember, and also the ones who fill out the form and the email saying like, hey, I'm interested in this. Then we call them and then talk with them just to get to know them. And then we invite them to the event because the embassy was there as well. That's how we started. But starting from now on, the idea is that every year after the program is finished, to send the email, Alumni Association invitation email to every participant that completed the program and returned home. And here in Turkey, we're thinking to do it through the agencies. And also maybe we will discuss with the sponsors that they will have in their newsletter and then inform them. And then the ones who are interested, we would be more than happy, to reach out or schedule a call and talk with them. What's that alumni association and why they think that it will help them, and also to get to know that if they can take a role and in the future, in the alumni association's future events, not as a guest, but also as a team member.
Miro, how about you? And I'm also curious in your case whether you only do Serbia or you do all 5 countries where work and travel is.
So hopefully you can hear me better now. So for right now, we're doing our own alumni, as each agency has maybe their own gatherings. And we've been talking within each agency to have some bigger alumni association for the whole Serbia at least, and then Croatia as well. So usually our alumni are our own students who we have been in touch with throughout before the program, before they leave, and after they're in the US. We always in touch with them, usually via email and via Instagram. So they send us pictures, videos, and also we have a glimpse of their experience, and we call them after their home when they're home to share that experience with others. So that's a good storytelling for the students who have not been on the program and maybe want to go. So everybody wants to see an experience from the first hand and not being told by us, but by previous participants. So that's why alumni is a great story to begin with. We also other agencies from Serbia had an alumni event back in 2020, just before COVID hit. Actually, I was actually in March. The 9 agencies came together to promote the program, and we had U.S. Embassy representatives as well, and we had more than 100 alumni, and it was a good gathering. So that was the start, and then, of course, after COVID, everything changed. So hopefully we'll get back on that soon. So we're trying to push the alumni in Serbia and other countries. And we're trying to do some maybe bigger events, such as combining students from all those countries in one place. So that's probably in the works for next year. After the next season, so maybe this Thanksgiving or something like that, just to have students in one place from all this region, which is, there's a lot of young people, so we can have them together.
Mira, one quick follow-up question. During the application process, do you collect students' Instagram names or social media handles as part of their application? Otherwise, how do you find them to see their pictures and things?
Yeah, so we've tried to follow them from our official Instagram account, and a lot of them do follow us back. So that's how we keep track of the students and their experience, and so that's the way how we because Instagram and TikTok, but Instagram is the biggest so far. So how do we keep in touch with the students?
So you know who they are when they apply, and then you follow them and come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, Mira, I'm going to start with you. Both of you have mentioned events as a key attraction for alum to come together. How much time and effort do you have to invest in planning these events, in finding alumni? You're both smiling, so I can't wait to hear, how much does it take to really do this well? And Mira, I'll start with you.
So it depends on the size of the alumni. We did host several really pretty big alumni. Actually, it was 10 years ago, we had a big alumni with more than 300 participants from 2008 to 2015. So that took quite a while, and we needed to organize buses to bring the students in one place. It takes a couple of months of planning, that's for sure. If the events are in the offices, still you need some planning, but not as much, because the students are usually from that city where they applied. Or if they're abroad, you tend to maybe even pay for their trip, because students throughout the years, you have to entertain them. Why should they come to the alumni? Because they're not maybe as past generations. So that's why we try to have some event to connect this region and the US, such as Thanksgiving, which is meaningful, so students can relate to and say, okay, there's we provide food, of course, drinks, so students can just come here, have a sense of US culture again, and reminisce of the good stories. So we also have students from different parts of the US. So maybe one friend went to Alaska, another one went Cape Cod, and they have totally different experience, and then they can come here and talk about different experiences. So it takes some time to plan ahead. Just depends on how much big you want to go.
Fazil, how about you? Is it is similar situation?
Well, pretty much similar. That's why we try to change a little bit strategy. So last year it was a little bit last minute, because it was right in the middle of the season when we had to process the students so they can go. And then also to find out the details, how should we move on? And we had a meeting with the embassy, and then they had to find availability when we can do it. So all these unknowns, when they become known, so we had a very short time. So last year we did less than a month, the launching event. We had to do website and then Instagram page, find the venue, find the funds, and then decide the concept, all the printouts and digital materials. So last year, less than a month, it was tough, but we managed it, and then we switched to the smaller events, which is we don't do every month. We do in our schedule so far in the 12 months period with the launch event. We did 2 small events, and we have an upcoming event. If you don't do bigger event, I think 1 month would be enough. You just need to have a good plan. And if you're going to do a bigger event, there's always going to be some things that are missing, some things that are shifting. So for the bigger event, I would suggest 2 months.
And are there any technologies or systems that you have that make your life easier, or make this whole process, especially just tracking and finding alumni, any easier? Fazil, how about you?
Well, we started with the Google Sheets and Google Forms until it worked. And then later on, we decided that, when you have to collaborate, when you have a distribute who is going to do what. So we switched to the Airtable. This is kind of like our small CRM. If anybody knows it, if somebody doesn't know it, I would really suggest to check it out. It will help you also with your business as well. So we use kind of like Airtable for having the list, to having the scheduling, and then for the follow-ups, to collect their LinkedIn page, and then if you want to have some kind of event and have a guest list, it's very easy to manage from the Airtable. Very similar to Google Sheets. You just need to build and then just how to use it. It also has a same like Google Form, Airtable Forms, which helps us to collect from the applicants who are interested, and we have a registration form so they can register. For communication, that's the most tough part, because is that email has been checked? Is that email has been replied? maybe alumni reach out through the WhatsApp or to the social media. We purchased membership. It's a unified communication tool. It names Supsis. It's a local Turkish, so we can use here internally. But there is also, I tried it and I like it. I just found the local alternative for it. ManyChat. ManyChat also allows you to have a unified communication. If you reach out to WhatsApp, you can reach out to WhatsApp, and then he sends you email, and then you can continue your conversation through email. Because if you have a challenge or some kind of issues replying or communicating on time, you're gonna lose the bond with that alumni. They may lose the interest. And that's why is a communication tool, and the person who replies or I don't want to mention it now, but we are thinking to have some kind of AI agent, at least who is gonna collect some kind of the information from the alumni, so we can see and distinguish alumni per the category. If I would summarize, Airtable for CRM, ManyChat, worldwide one for the unified communication. And what was the third one we said?
AI.
AI agent, that is, it's not now exists. We just thinking about it to implement it. That Supsys is actually, ManyChat has it as well, where when you're not available, your AI agent at least reply and get some of the information that you need, so you have a better callback or better interaction with that alumni.
Very, very hip, Fazil. I like it very much. Miro, how about you? What technologies do you use?
So we don't have maybe that many alumni events per year, but we don't have that many technologies except like basic Google Sheets. We do communication. Again, you have to call the students, talk to them, or in person when they're in the office. We do Instagram chat as well. We were thinking about some AI, but we're still reluctant to invest in that because again, it's a people-to-people business, and I don't know. I'm back and forth, and still we're not quite into that because it's again, everybody wants to talk with a real person, so it comes down to talk to the real person. So we're trying to invest in our own CRM and software, so we can include a lot of different things where each student will have its own account, and we are trying to do that next year. So the student will have some communication via maybe WhatsApp messages, so it's more direct. We do also WhatsApp business messaging with our participant, but it is time consuming, and you need someone to be constantly on that because students nowadays, they appreciate having WhatsApp and that instant communication, but it takes away a lot of your time just to communicate with the students, and you need a specific person assigned to that because if you have more students, then it's time consuming a lot. So you cannot manage anything besides just messaging with the students. But it is time consuming anyway, just to talk to the students and create that connection. And we noticed that after COVID, certain offices are more into online and certain are more students coming in the office. So for Serbian, let's say, offices, we feel that students are more coming to the office, and for Croatia, more it's online. So sometimes you create more of a connection when the students are coming into the office. So it takes maybe more time, but it's more beneficial to us because you can really, be face to face with the student rather than just over the phone or Zoom meeting or Teams or online. So for me, I still prefer the face to face communication and live talk, and rather than going to AI. I think it's too much for now. So we'll see.
But I like that you remind us to know your audience and how they also like to communicate and receive information. I think alumni change a lot too. If you're talking about alumni from 10 years ago compared to 10 months ago, they're in very different places on the communications spectrum. Both of you have mentioned other stakeholders, other allies in this process. And I'm curious who else has been helpful as you've built out your alumni work and then how you've had relationships with them. And Fasil, I'm going to start with you because I know the Buta chapter is fairly new, so you're very much in the process of building allies right now.
Yes. Well, the parties currently who are helping is the sponsors and the agencies in Turkey, Department of State, and the embassy. Uh, with their support, I don't think it would happen, or maybe it would happen. It would be just something very small, or maybe not happen at all. Initially, thanks to I reach out to the sponsors that I'm working with, and kind of like I share the idea with them, and that this is actually Department of State reach out to us and said that, hey, Fazil, you're an alumni, and we were thinking about the alumni to do in Turkey. And I said, well, actually, I have something in mind. And then I kind of shared with them, and then they reach out to the embassy, and then cultural attaché at the embassy, he asked for the meeting, and we got into the meeting, and I just present them, what we have as a plan, as a project. And so initially they said, how we can support. And they said you can use Department of State logo in your website, in your marketing materials. And also Department of State, they just want Buta independently, you know, talk with the sponsors and the agencies, because embassy that time was not really into that. So I reach out to sponsors, share with them the information. Uh, at the beginning, it was hard to get that support from everybody. There was thanks to lots of sponsors who actually expressed their support. There is an agencies who believe that actually it's a good thing because sponsors is looking for that, embassy is looking for that. It's good for the business. It's good for the audience that's going to the J1 program. And actually, it's also good to give back, what we are invested in for the public diplomacy. So we need to do something after they return. So currently we have an agencies who are helping with when there is an event with the funds. So the budget side coming from the agencies, and then as well as for the sponsors who are, like willing with the contribute. And also embassy recently, we communicated to do a breakfast. So they are looking maybe to host us at the embassy's venue, so we can have like a brunch with some alumni, some Americans who are studied in Turkey. So pretty much this is the small community who would get support and who would help. We try to get a sponsorship from like a travel companies and other. Since it's a very small community, we were not really able to attract any kind of support outside of our own community, which are the stakeholders, participants, and the institutions.
Mira, how about you? Are there other audiences than the ones Fasil mentioned?
So usually we did in the past, embassy was helpful, but it depends on who is in the embassy. So like 2012 and 13, the ambassador was there, and he was really helpful, and he actually organized lunch in his own residence. So he invited students and agency representatives. So after ambassadors change, they have some different views, and ambassador who is now and the staff is good and they want to see the program work, but we still have to have them at some alumni event. It has to be something big rather than something in the office. So we have to see, again, same as we did in 2020 with all the agencies, we have to organize bigger events, because if it's just one agency, the embassy staff is probably not gonna be at the event. We did have in 2015, it was actually in April 28, 2015, we had 6 sponsors at the one event. It was called American Spring Break on Silver Lake. So we had more than 800 students, U.S. Embassy representatives. We have workshops and everything. So it just depends on the willingness of the embassy representatives. And pretty much we did all the funding by ourselves for all of the events. We didn't have, help with others, the big events. We do have a big support from the sponsors for the reach outs to all the participants from their end as well. And they want to see the program grow and alumni community grow. And we do have live orientations with a sponsor in just a week. And we have alumni students coming in several cities when those orientations are. So we're trying to connect sponsors and alumni here, which is kind of difficult because not a lot of sponsors travel when the students are available. Usually it's for the job fairs, but that's pretty busy, for employers and for the staff. So it's tough to get them together. So this is a good opportunity to have them in one place.
Thank you. And that's actually my last question, and then we'll open the floor up to our colleagues. So folks, you can start typing now if you like. What kinds of activities do you do? And each of you have mentioned a number of those examples. And then why do you choose to do those? So Mira, you talked about Thanksgiving as a big celebration and a little bit there, but what other kinds of activities do you do in person or through social media kinds of campaigns, and why do you do them?
So we try to engage students. It's been tougher and tougher through contests, whether it's photo, whether it's a video contest, whether it's sharing and tagging us or tagging their friends, or we also do before they leave, we have contests with we give away free airplane tickets. So we try to engage students with a lot of different things, and we try to mix every year because as participants change and their their needs and all, we're trying to see what works the best because we notice that like photo contest is not working as much, and video so maybe something that they really have some incentive, and that's not too hard, and maybe just a couple of clicks. If they have to do a complicated process, it's not going to work. You're not going to have many of them engaged. So that's why we try to keep it simple, just because generations as they come in, they want to see that. Just apply with a couple of clicks. Everything should be more online. Of course, all alumni are in person, but as much as you can do online to engage the students, that's one of the key things. And I saw that some students are actually bonding between themselves after they come in. Like from Serbia and Croatia, they meet with each other if they were in the same location or close by, and they will meet each other. But if we're doing it, sometimes maybe they'll say no just because it's the agency. So we're trying to see some maybe more fun activities as well, rather than to be us talking and try to be more close with them. in what they like. So trying to be more laid back and loose in that term, because white collar, it will not work. It's too much because the generation is different, and so you need to follow up that trends, and you have to every year you have to keep up with the trends, and then see what works, and it's trial and error. For sure it's going to be something that doesn't work out, but next year will be better.
That's always a good attitude to have. Fazil, how about you?
Well, we had the last year that launching event, as I mentioned earlier, that we just want to present the Alumni Association and then highlight that it's here. It just started. And so that was our first event. And then afterwards, we didn't organize direct events, but we attended the events where there was a job fairs and where the alumni who were at the launch event and who were assigned or who registered to be a volunteer to help the future alumni and then direct them. We invite them to the job fair. And then we had a 2 workshop, which was one of the alumni who works as an HR specialist, and she's alumni from 2008. And then we sent an invitation similar to this one that we are having here. We didn't have that much attendee, but it was kind of like a small. And the second event also was about IT, and then we went through the department. We have the departments that all the students study, so try to attract it based on their occupation, the fields of their study. So 2 online events, 1 launching event, and then 2 alumni booth attending with the alumni to the job events. And then we have an upcoming event, which is, as I said, breakfast. That's going to be, we call it brunch, the Turkish breakfast when the weather is get better, to be outside, and there's going to be the embassy staff, and we're looking up to 20 alumni, not the recent ones who came, but actually who already have their achievement in their professional life. We have an alumni who is representative of the NBA in Turkey. He is older than me. Sorry. And then we have an alumni who is working for the TikTok, and he based in Dubai, but he is a Turkish. He travels here. So we're looking something where to show them that the seeds of the alumni that we planted, and there is a result, and then to show it kind of like in a community. And the goal is actually to have it digital, because we want to have photos and videos of those events, which is we can keep spreading, because there are very good alumni that are actually may not be in your city, and you just love to highlight that alumni. So to say that, hey, there is a one person like this, and like once in a year coming together and partying, it really needs lots of money. You need lots of time, as I said, like a minimum 2 months to prepare for this. And then, the selection of the location, venue, like what to have it, and then double check is everybody's coming. Instead of that, I would really suggest that if you segmentize your alumni, if you're able to do it in your Google Sheet or your CRM, and then do the segmentation kind of meeting where you can bring the ones who try to be influencer, or the ones who are working in the digital marketing, who is really in and out with the digital world, and then bring them together so they can have a common conversation. And then I just saw that we have a lot of alumni who are in the field of medicine, and then to have that concept and invite the ones who are in the medicine. You don't need more. 15, 20, the ones from 10 years ago, 2 years ago, 6 years ago, if you have them together and then digitalize it, what I mean is like you can make a photo, you can make an article, you can highlight the attendees and where they are in their career, And this is something that's getting more attraction. So what we did face to face, we will continue to do unless, it's possible, feasible, and not consuming lots of fund and energy. But again, the small events with the involvement of the embassy or, you know, uh, the alumni who is also taking part. He is not just a guest, but also wants to talk, wants to share his experience. And then that segmented events to have it online. If we see that there is some people who are not able to attend face to face, if the attendees as a small group that we just scheduled, 21s, they live in Istanbul or nearby, and they just want to travel, meet there, and then they're gonna prepare. They're all the ones who works in the marketing or video production or telecommunication field. We're gonna ask them like if they can prepare their own stories, and then the next one is gonna be the students who are studying in the finance and business, and then we have an alumni who is working in the Ministry of Finance in Turkey in a Istanbul branch, and then he said, but we just try to find the schedule where he can come and speak with them and then tell them, where they should focus and then, where they should invest in their personal or career growth and then where the trend is going. We just don't want to come together and then have fun and then go home. We just want to, when we come together, we're able to pick up those alumni who, the Americans would be love to hear about them. And then those alumni where future alumni would be excited to say that, hey, that guy went through my path. Or alumni who are at the beginning of their career, so they get to know them. And then, the feeling of that they're building network, I think is what's going to kind of like a boost alumni association. So this
That's
is kind
actually
of
a
like
great,
our agenda.
Fazil, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's a great link to one of the questions we have in our chat. So I'd like to
Mhm.
actually build on that a little bit. Mira, you
Okay.
talked about this too in terms of making the case to alumni about why they should participate. And we're going to run a little long, friends, so I apologize because we have some great questions in the chat. Miro, could
Mhm.
you talk about what are those reasons why or that value proposition that you give to your alumni about why they should engage? You are on mute, friend.
Sorry. So it's important to have alumni to speak about their experience. So uh, the students who are maybe wanting to go to US, whether it's on work and travel, maybe it's internship or trainee, maybe they have some questions where they're not they're insecure maybe um, about themselves, how they can present themselves, is it right for them, and if they can see a student who might have been in the same situation, and it's good to have that alumni speak that it's possible and it's you can manage that, you can succeed. And we've been having a couple of let's say presentations where we have students participants, usually some work and travel, but we're trying to do internship as well. So we have previous students, alumni, and new students combined, and they can from various locations. So it doesn't matter. We try to have from Cape Cod, Alaska, from Midwest, from various locations. So we invite all the students. We had this online and in person. So you can hear about different experiences from various locations, and it just brings up the value of that alumni, and they can speak about their experience. And I think it's good to have that connection with them because in the long term, of course, it's an investment where you must organize everything and put everything together, but in the long term, it benefits everybody because it's beneficial for the program. It's the diplomacy, pretty much, where you raise awareness of the program and everything, especially after COVID, where we had to build from scratch because we didn't have any students. So we had to bring in old participants where, we, for 2 years, pretty much, we didn't have any alumni. So we have to, bring those participants from 2018 and 19 to talk about, to educate students who didn't even hear about the program. So that's why it's important to have that alumni, some association, and to keep in touch with them, because it's that's the value. The value is you'll get the return. Years pass, so you cannot just calculate this year, and it's a process.
And it sounds like for the alum, the value for them is the feeling they can give back and help students, that professional development piece that Fazil was talking about, and then just relationships and feeling connected to others who had a similar experience, even if it wasn't from their university or something like that.
Yeah, and they have, we're starting also a podcast where we have alumni, so students who participated, talk about their experience. So we're gonna start sharing that on YouTube and other online platforms, so we can have those alumni stories be more heard, rather than just have events here where not a lot of people might show up. Maybe it's 20, 50. This how you can have a lot of audience, not necessarily in your own country. Maybe it can be from another country. So I think that's also one of the factors why I need alumni as well.
That's great. And Fazil, for you, how do you set the expectations for alumni when they join the association? And what kinds of contributions do you encourage them to make?
Mhm. You mean like contributions alumni make to the alumni association, or
Yes.
okay, yeah, the contribution. So let me ask your question about the expectation. So we try to do the minimum expectation, but with the quality, because what we try to do, we are not looking for the quantity where, like, we have a full of database. I mean, everybody has a database of the students who traveled to the program and came back. But what we try to do is just to tell them that, this is alumni network. If you have something to tell, if you want to be noticed, if you want to be your LinkedIn to be highlighted, if you want to meet with the same-minded people, there is an alumni association. Just be in touch, like stay connected. There are several events that you may like. We try to, and actually, new generation is very familiar with this because they have like the game group, they have like the travel group in their life. We try to tell them that you're same age, and then pretty much those who thought that they have to invest and go to the program, see the US, came back, and then with the segmentation, you are not going to be like a doctor, and then there's some student who is a painter, or I don't know, like studying design. You're going to meet with the people. It will give you a network, and we highlight the importance of the network. So we try to push to them that the value that you're going to gain from here is first thing is the network. The second thing, for the younger ones, we are working now to have like the certificate on top of the agency certificate that, hey, he completed the program, and he's a member of the alumni association. Because some of them, they think that in the future, when they apply to American visa, having such badge would kind of like eliminate the risk to get a visa denial. Some of them think that, it's very good for their career, because we mentioned them that now it's not only us, everybody's mentioning, because they're very interested in that motivational things, and all of them are looking just for the network. The first thing, we never told them that, hey, come here, there's going to be a pull out, and then the winner will get an iPhone, or winner will get this. But what we also tell them, hey, there is a international events that the one that's happening, that capital event that's happening in DC. Like stay connected, let us know who you are, and then how do you achieve it. And then we can refer you to the international events where you can participate. The ones who are at the college or new graduates, they like that one. The ones who are in a corporate business or doing their own business or working already for certain number of the years, for some of them are interested to have it in their LinkedIn. Some of them are interested to having a connection. So it's depending, who we are reaching out. If it's a new one, the green ones, it's mostly about, stay connected, join the events, possibility to take part in the trips that we are planning to do. And for the ones who are older age, who has a busy life and the family, for them, we promote them, segmented networking.
We are almost at time, and I think we've had some really great sharing about different ways to connect with alumni, the both emotional self-interest as well as the professional and the more advancement self-interest as well. One last question, and then we'll do a quick poll, friends, and we'll turn it over. We'll wrap up. When you have alumni spread out over a large area or lots of different parts of a country, are there any particular strategies that you find work well to help people feel connected? Fasil, you're in Istanbul. When you have alumni in Izmir or Ankara or spread out all over. Obviously, Miro, you have folks in different countries and all of that. Very quickly, do you have any good strategies for making folks feel connected despite the distance?
Mhm. Well, I think unified communication tools. You need to have that unified communication tool such as ManyChat, as I said. Like I feel like I'm doing advertisement of the ManyChat here. So you need to have that kind of the tool that will help you to stay connected. If you mention that, among them they stay connected, they find a way when they bring them together. They exchange the numbers, they exchange with the LinkedIn. But if you want to stay in touch with them or connect one alumni with another, as a bridge, unified communication tool would be the best help.
I agree. I agree. But it's time consuming, of course, but WhatsApp, Instagram, that's the most common. Emails do not work as much, so that instant communication is pretty much the key if you're so far away. So yeah.
Well, thank you both. I think that's an important reminder that this does take effort and it does take work, but it has so many returns to the mission as well as to the everyday practical life of business. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much for your wisdom, Miro and Fasil. We're really grateful to all of you. I have a very quick poll, friends, if you don't mind just sharing your opinion with us ever so quickly. And while you do, I will remind you that every Friday I drop reminders about our events, different tools and pieces of advice connected to the three parts of Capital's mission: education, best practices, and advice on storytelling, even insights into the way Gen Z and Gen Alpha and Gen X and all the gens think. And then our next event that we have confirmed is May 13th, again, looking at the connection between BridgeUSA and national security, all part of how we can talk about the importance of BridgeUSA, its tremendous power for participants as well as US interests. And then, of course, we have lots more in the works, as they say. And so many different events coming throughout the year. If you know folks who should be part of Capital and are not yet in the family, please do invite them to come along. As you all know well as Capital members, it's an easy process and an open door despite the high bar. So we really invite many, many other folks to join us in this effort as we get underway. So thank you to our speakers. Thank you to our wonderful audience. And I look forward to seeing you at a future Capital event. Take care, everybody.
Well, thank you, Carmen, and thank you everyone for joining. It's very pleasure for me.